Hey everyone, Chuck back again. You guys who just bought your first 3D printer, or think back to when you did get your first 3D printer, some of the first things you'll hear are must-haves for your new printer. Things you just absolutely must have. From Octoprint to, what's one of the others? Octoprint and an automatic bed leveling system to whatever. There's always something you must have. And I've done it too. With the Ender 3, you must have a better extruder mechanism, feed mechanism on your printer than the plastic one that comes with it. But anyway, one of the things I always hear that you must have is TL smoothers. And a TL smoother, and I've got one right here. This one has 8 diodes on it, and some have 4, but everybody says get the ones that have 8 on it. A TL smoother goes in line between the stepper driver and the stepper motor. And the idea is it smooths out the motions. Now, they're not expensive. I think if you buy them from China, I think you can get 4 of them for 12 bucks. I bought these from Amazon and got 3 for, I think, 13 or 14. They're inexpensive. There's all kinds of warnings about them. Wires on them being reversed, the diodes not being soldered on correctly. I don't know. But one of my problems with all of my printers has been trying to get text. See if I text that's printed with the part sitting vertically, trying to get the text in the background to that text really smooth. That yellow doesn't show it the best. Here I've got this part here I printed, trying to get the text and the background around the text smooth. This one actually came out pretty darn good, but I'm getting ringing and artifacting, and the text looks blurry and that kind of stuff. So I don't know whether a TL smoother would help that. It says it mainly helps salmon skinning. Here's and you'll see on Thingiverse there's a guy that pushes these pretty hard, and he has before and after parts and things like that to show on it. And he has affiliate links on there, and I use his affiliate links because I use affiliate links too. So I'm not going to badmouth him for it while I do the same thing. Trying to look at the computer monitor there while I get this in. Benchy is one of the things he uses to display it. And this particular black filament is really shiny. And it has really displayed some of the artifacting problems I've had. But I got to admit, a pretty darn good Benchy for an Ender 3 $179 printer. The overhangs turned out beautifully. I mean, they're really, the bridging at the front turned out really nice. There really is nothing to really complain about this Benchy. I expected to see something, but I didn't. Also, let me go get it. It's across the room. He prints this other thing out. Excuse me, don't demonetize me, YouTube, for this. But he also shows this piece here. And he shows a lot of salmon skinning in around this area. I'm not really seeing it on this one. This one's pretty darn good. You can see there I have some missing spots up around the top of the breasts and up around the top of her backside. Not her, it's not a woman, it's just a it's just a representation of one. And but I got to admit, I think this turned out pretty good. But on the chance that it can make it better, we're going to put TL smoothers in this Ender 3, and we're going to see if it improves it. So when you order them, you'll get the TL smoother board itself, and you'll get little cables. I have been warned, and you know what? TL stands for Triangle Labs, the company that first devised these devices. And you will have people on the internet tell you they work, tell you what they are, tell you they don't work. Some people think they're snake oil. Some people think they actually work. Some will tell you that these cables are wired wrong when they're all in line and one wire needs to be reversed. Others will tell you that's not the case. They're correct when they come. It's really it's really hard to get any kind of accurate information about these or people that agree. So I've already got the top of my Ender 3 loose. let's go in and let's try them. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get you a little closer. That might be possible, and it might not be possible. But let's give it a try. Whoops. Let me use my other hand for that. And there are the 4 plugs right there. And those little yellow tags mark them. Can you see that down there? Those little yellow tags mark them as to which is which. So I'm going to set the camera back the way it was. Kind of, sort of. And let's get the height back up so we can get back down in there. And let's swap those. And I'm going to get this other light down here, and hopefully that will let me see it a little better. Oops. Just kind of slide it under there like that. Maybe that'll let you see it a little better too. And the first one in the front is marked E. We're not going to do E. I'm only going to do X and Y, because I don't really think Z plays a part in it. This one is Z. So the 2 in the rear are Y, and then X is all the way in the back. So these have a little glob of goo on them to keep them from coming apart. Let's see how hard they are to separate. I'm just going to wiggle it. There's that one. And that one's a little tighter. See if I can gently wiggle it out of there from its little bit of glue. That one's pretty darn snug. I may have to go in with a little knife and separate that. I don't want to damage the plug on the board. Up there it came, popped right loose there. And you know what, since I have the Z, let's go ahead and put the Z in. Just going to wiggle that gently back and forth until it comes loose. There we go. There we go. And I'm not an electronics genius, so I don't know what type of these diodes are. I know there are multiple different type of diodes. To me, they were always whoops, threw it on the floor. To me, they were always a one-way gate, but apparently that's not the case with these. So this was Z, Y, and X. So let's start in the back. That's my X-axis. We're going to put the plugs in, and we're going to put the, get my light back in there. We're going to plug this back in. Now, some of these come with insulating sleeves to put over the board itself. These did not. So for now, I also want to go try these in the Alpha YZ20. So I'm not going to do anything fancy as far as mounting these are concerned. We are just going to plug them in. So we were Z, Y, and X. So let's look for Y. There's Y. I'm going to plug that in there and in there. And whoops. If you've never watched any of my other videos, you know I'm pretty ham-handed and I knock stuff over a lot. That's nothing unusual for me. So I'm not drunk or hungover or anything. That's just normal. So now we're going to do Z, and we're going to plug Z into the Z-axis stepper. Now, some people have claimed this has burned their board out. So I'm hoping that's not going to happen, because I really don't want to buy a new board for this printer. I'm thinking that probably they had wires switched or crossed or something grounded on them. And okay, let's switch it on and see what happens. If the smoke comes all out, you know it was bad. Okay, fired up, looks completely normal. So what I'm going to do now is turn it back off. And now I'm going to take a break for a minute, and I'm going to try and find a way to get them all tucked in there so they're not grounded, and I can get the cover back on the printer. I will be right back. Okay, we're back. I have tucked the little boards in face down, connector side down, and then put a piece of rubber inner tube over the back to protect them from the metal part of the cover. And the card is in. These are the three files that I use: 3D Benchy, Woman Body for Vase Mode, and SmootherTest.g code. I am going to print all three of these out, starting with 3D Benchy. And assuming it all works, we're going to compare it to what it was before. I'm going to put the camera back so we can see the printer. At least I'll just keep you around, at least for the very start, so you can see if at least the printer functions. Z seems to be functioning normally. It's homing. This was always a very smooth printer. My newer Ender 3 is nowhere near as smooth. It bangs pretty hard against the limit switches. Not sure why, but it does. And everything seems to be functioning okay. All the axes are moving normally. Filament's feeding. Of course, I didn't put one in the extruder. If you buy these off China, I think you get 4 for like 12 or 13 bucks. If you buy them from Amazon, you get 3 for about the same price. Since in my opinion, you really only need 2 per printer, the China deal could get you 2 printers for the same price. Okay, everybody, I am going to pause this, and I am going to print all 3 of these prints, or I'll probably just stop it since it's going to take hours. I'll probably come back tomorrow or the next day and do the finish up part of this video, but I will stop it now, and I will come back when I have these 3 parts printed. Okay, we're back. Let's take a look at the results of the pre-smoother and post-smoother, these prints I made. I made 3 different prints, each without the smoother and each with it. And I'm going to try and get you a good view of them, and we'll compare. And here's the first thing I printed, which is just a small black, whoops, I just threw it on the floor. Let me grab it again. A small black name tag. And I'm holding it up like this with the cardboard, hoping I'm going to get the camera to focus. And wrong way. And I'm going to try and get the light to go across it. One of the things I got these for was I was really hoping I was going to get the lettering to be smoother. Let me turn the camera a bit. That's kind of a hard angle to hold. That's way better. And I did it in this black because this black seems to come out shiny, and it really shows some of the things that's not really good about it. This is the before, and it's very thin. And on the back I put some little, if you've ever seen Norp icons, they are little figures that are in place of letters and icons, and they work fine on the Infusion. So there's the before one, and this is the after one. And I'm going to be completely honest here and tell you that, sorry about that, motorcycle just went by. I'm going to be honest with you that I cannot tell a bit of difference in these. They are to me absolutely identical. I cannot see anything. I honestly think they both look really good. So the next part is this female figure. And if you want to know why I chose this, the guy on Thingiverse that's pushing TL smoothers for printers, he uses this as an example. And got to admit, this was printed in vase mode, and it didn't come out perfect. You can see cracks that showed through because the overhangs didn't print very well. And it might be my settings in Cura. But if you look right up around the hollow of the shoulder blades, and see if I can get it to shine the light there, right there in that hollow, you can see some salmon skinning on this. Honestly, in my opinion, you really got to be looking for it to see it, but it's there. It is there, and that's the only place that I can really see it on this model. The front looks beautiful. other than the, again, a few gaps in the material. The front looks beautiful. I don't really see it. To me, it's not really noticeable anyplace else. So let's look at the one with the smoothers. So here's the one I printed with the smoothers, and on the front, again, you really can't see any difference. There's, but I couldn't see anything wrong with the other one. On the back, those hollows in the shoulder blades where I could see scam and skinning on the other one, it's gone completely on this one. Absolutely completely gone. Now be aware, it wasn't very bad on the other one. You really, in my opinion, had to be looking for it to see it. But it is absolutely not present at all on this one. Other than the gaps, which I think I could fix with some changes in the slicer. I think I think these turned out beautiful, both pre-smoother and post-smoother. On to the Benchy. Here's the Benchy. And I gotta say, I think the Ender 3 print's a very nice Benchy. I really don't have anything to complain about it. The whoops, let me get it better in my hand. The opening around the windows, the circular opening, it printed beautifully. If I can get that better in there. The arch, it printed beautifully. The overhang at the front square window, it printed beautifully. Um, there really isn't a lot not to like about how it printed these. But let's take a look and see if we can see some artifacting. If you look on the sides of the cabin, see if I can get it in the light, there are some diagonal lines. And they are absolutely there, and they are very noticeable. Even more so probably in real life, they really stand out in this shiny black. And you can see them really good right there. You see those diagonal lines? That's one of the things he mentioned in his Thingiverse page. So let's take a look at the one printed with the smoothers. And we're going to look at the same thing. Let's look for those diagonal lines. There we go. They are not present at all. They are completely gone. Let's look at the other side. Once again, on the other side, there is no sign of those diagonal lines at all. The rest of the Benchy, honestly, I can't really tell much of a difference. Printed really well on both of them, in my opinion. The porthole, the anchor holes in the front printed really nice, perfectly round. Again, the bridging on the square window in the front is really good. The arch on the sides is perfect. The round hole in the back window is perfect. The smokestack, where I guess some printers have some issues, is all but perfect. Let me get it flatter against the cardboard there. Maybe it will focus. One can only hope. Nonetheless, that is the difference. And also, I want to say the printer printed fine, both with the smoothers and without. There was really, I saw no noticeable difference whatsoever. So some people saying that the printers don't work or have problems after the smoothers, or you have to adjust voltages, that isn't true on the Ender 3. At least it wasn't for me. Now, one thing you will have to do is you'll have to find a better way to mount them than I did. Just kind of tucked in there. Let me get this, move the camera a little bit. Just kind of tucked in there like that. Where'd my light go? Where did my light go? There it is. So I've just kind of got them tucked in there. I put a, whoops, sorry about that. Let me get this. I put a piece of black tape on the bottoms so they wouldn't short out against anything. There are some little mounting boards on Thingiverse where you can mount them and put them in. But my next move with this is I'm going to move these over to the AlphaWise U20, and we are going to see if they'll make a difference over on the AlphaWise U20. My summary on the smoothers for the Ender 3 is, if you are printing figurines and curved surfaces which you want to look really nice, or if you're having problems with diagonal lines on flat surfaces, it is absolutely worth $12, $15 to go ahead and put a set of these in the printer. If you're printing mainly functional items and you're not that horribly concerned with small artifacting on the outer surface, it's probably a waste of 15 bucks and some time and effort to get them in. But if you're trying to make stuff really pretty, then it does make a noticeable difference. And that's it for my must-have TL Smoothers video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, please like and subscribe and hit notifications. Use my affiliate links if you're in the market for Ender 3 or Alpha YZ20 or for sales at GearBest. And I hope to catch you back next time. Bye now.